Hello and welcome to the first audio-only episode of My Thoughts. You might be wondering why this is audio-only, and that's for a couple reasons. One is due to time constraints that I didn't have time to record this video in the week after Christmas due to unforeseen circumstances, and also because I got sick, as you can no doubt hear from my voice. And I can't appear on camera, but I still want to make this video, and I also got a headset with a mic for Christmas, so I figured what better way to test it than with an official video. So, what is this? Well, this is the top 10 BlackScarabFilmZ moments of 2015. I did a lot of cool videos in 2015, and I want to spotlight some of my favorite moments from those videos. So, let's get to it.
Shovel Justice. You know, I hate Shovel Justice Warriors. I can't stand Shovel Justice Warriors.
Number 10 is the Shovel Justice Warrior bit from the first Shovel Knight Let's Play. I still think it's hilarious that despite having played Shovel Knight repeatedly and seeing that dialogue box multiple times, I never picked up on that, and it was a really funny joke to finally realize. Especially since the internet is so keen on not liking the so-called SJWs. I just think shovel justice is not the right type of justice.
Finding their bodies being used in a ritual where roughly 100 men were standing around the bodies while chanting this. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that, since I could barely pronounce Ode Munster last week, and it took me several tries to pronounce Compsognathus in the Jurassic Park video. Trust me, it's better if I don't try.
Number 9 is a joke I wish I had come up with myself. In the Call of Cthulhu video, obviously, I mispronounced Compsognathus multiple times. What you might not know is that that wasn't in the script. I was just supposed to say how hard it was pronouncing the word the first time. However, I messed up multiple times during the take, and I figured I'd keep it in because it was funnier than the original joke. It just goes to show that I can be funny sometimes, just when I'm not trying to be.
Now, I was going to look at the Reb Brown Captain America movie, but I decided against it because I didn't want to rip off Spoonie.
When has that ever stopped you before?
Quiet, you!
Number 8 is just a bit that I think was really funny. Yeah, I like poking fun at the fact that I rip off other reviewers constantly. And that is none more obvious than with the whole Dr. Insano, Mike Sano thing. Yeah, it's a rip-off, but I've kinda turned him into his own character, so I think I'm allowed to keep using him. But yeah, really, the joke is only on this list because I think it was really funny.
What the hell, newbie? That is a charming story, believe me, it is.
Number 7 is the Dr. Cox bit from the Top 15 Scrubs episodes video. I just had a lot of fun making that, and while it was a pain in the ass to split-screen Mike Sano into it, I think the inclusion of Mike Sano and the joke that I only have the one lab coat made the bit even funnier than it already was.
Michael, what's the catastrophic emergency that you wrote the letter about? My memory is a bit fuzzy when it comes to crossing my own time stream, and there are so many of these emergencies that I'm not sure what goes where in my own personal timeline. I need you to review Don Quixote. What? Well, I promised that I'd review Don Quixote, and I know that you finished it because you found the letter and all. Oh, god damn it, this is why I sent the letter, isn't it?
Number 6 is the one where Michael finally gets revenge on his future self. I made it a plot point from the beginning when I introduced future Michael that he would constantly show up to disrupt his past self's activities, and I wanted to finally give him some comeuppance for it. So I figure his annoyance with being shanghaied into reviewing Don Quixote was a justified use of the character. And it was a lot better than my original intention for that episode, which was to turn it into a musical, based on Man of La Mancha, the musical based on Don Quixote. You can see why I didn't go with my original idea.
Do you know what happens when the boss of this outfit gets mean? People get whacked. I ain't saying it's gonna be you, Johnny. But then again, I also ain't saying that it ain't. I am dead serious. This is the greatest story ever to be put to paper.
Number 5 is the greatest thing ever put to paper from Alternate Warriors. Yeah, hearing the Pope talk like a Mafia Don was probably the greatest thing in the entire book, save for the bit in the Firebringers where David Gerald perfectly matched Jimmy Stewart's voice in text. But yeah, that was the highlight of that episode, and I still don't think that I did those lines justice.
But first, we must go back to the future.
They rebooted it?
Number 4 is the Back to the Future reboot joke from the Back to the Future Day video. Yeah, that video was just a cheesy little thing made for Back to the Future Day, but I think it was really funny, and it is the sort of thing Hollywood would do if Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale weren't adamant about Hollywood not doing that. And I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out, especially with the little callbacks to Back to the Future.
I am a man! I am a man!
I don't know what just happened.
Number 3 is me, almost 100 episodes in, finally getting to do an I'm a man punch. I don't know why I never found an excuse to write one of those in earlier, but I think it fit the video pretty well, especially since one of the characters actually does say, I am a man, or some variation thereof. And I also like the way it was executed. The original idea was to have a cease and desist order show up, but I figured that wouldn't be very in character for Linkara, so I figured I'd go with a bit more reminiscent of one that he would come up with.
And I don't regret a moment of it.
Well, looks like I'm gonna have to stop you.
Except that one. I do regret that one.
Number 2 is my one regret from the 100 episodes of the show so far. Yeah, it's the weird fighting stance that I'm sure at the time was meant to look intimidating, but just looks really goddamn stupid. I'm sure I probably meant it to be a Power Rangers type pose, but it's just really inefficient since I have the screwdriver farther back than I'm supposed to, and I have my hand, which doesn't have anything in it, in the front, which is just not very efficient for fighting. But it's still a really funny pose, and still brings a smile to my face, even if the rest of those videos makes me cringe.
Hello and welcome to the Literary Lair. After the Red Dwarf saga, I'm a little hesitant to pick up another series, and believe me, I have a good schedule planned.
And number 1 is the Death Wish flashback from the Death Wish video. Yeah, I'm just really goddamn proud of that because I managed to recreate the way that the set looked 3 years ago. And actually, I did a pretty damn good job. The good thing is that I, 1, don't throw stuff out, and 2, managed to actually have a lot of the stuff still on the shelf, so it was more a matter of moving things around than of actually recreating the set. It wouldn't have been possible without that, considering my lack of green screen and chroma key technology, and I think I did a really good job of recreating the way the set used to be, even if I didn't get it exactly right due to misremembering and going with trying to recreate what it would have looked like between 2 videos that I did make, since the original footage is lost, and so I have no idea what it would have actually looked like. But I think I came pretty damn close, and it was a really cool video to make. And that was my top 10 Black Scarab Films moments of 2015. I did a lot of cool stuff this year and hit a couple milestones that I'm pretty happy with, and I hope that next year will be as successful and funny as this year was. But that's all the time we have for today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you next time.
Thank you all for watching, and if you liked the video, you can hit subscribe and watch one of my other videos. My videos can be found on any of these fine sites, and if you want to help out, maybe consider supporting the show on Patreon. See you next time.